In 1929, a dusty piece of gazelle skin was pulled from the cluttered archives of the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul. It was old, cracked with age, covered in faded ink. But what this map revealed would shake the world of cartography, ignite decades of controversy, and challenge everything we thought we knew about ancient civilizations. It was the Piri Reis map, and it showed Antarctica. Not as we know it, buried under miles of ice, but as a detailed, accurate landmass, without a single snowflake in sight. Here's the kicker. The map was drawn in 1513. That's 300 years before Antarctica was even discovered by modern explorers. And what's more chilling, literally, is that the continent depicted wasn't just the icy shell we see today. The map appeared to show the coastline of Queen Maud Land, a region scientists didn't even manage to survey beneath the ice until the 20th century, using seismic data and radar. So, how could a 16th century Ottoman admiral have known what Antarctica looked like beneath the ice? Piri Reis himself claimed he didn't draw the land from exploration. In his own notes written on the map, he said he compiled it using older sources. Sources he claimed came from ancient times, some even dating back to the age of Alexander the Great. Let that sink in. If those original charts were that old, then someone, before modern history, had either explored Antarctica during a time it wasn't frozen, or had technology capable of seeing through solid ice. And both of those options raise more questions than answers. Let's rewind. Piri Reis was no ordinary sailor. He was a brilliant navigator, a scholar, and a respected admiral in the Ottoman Navy. He had access to libraries across the Islamic world, and more importantly to maps that no longer exist today. Some of his sources, he claimed, were from Greek and Arabic cartographers, others possibly from the legendary Library of Alexandria, that ancient treasure trove of human knowledge lost in fire and war. Could it be that the knowledge of Earth's true geography was once widespread and then forgotten? Mainstream historians argue that the coastline on the Piri Reis map might be a misinterpretation, that maybe it's just South America drawn incorrectly, with a bit of wishful guessing. But scientists at the U.S. Air Force's Cartographic Office in the 1960s disagreed. After comparing the Piri Reis map to modern seismic surveys of Antarctica's subglacial topography, they admitted it was amazingly accurate. And here's where it gets even stranger. Geological evidence shows that Antarctica hasn't been ice-free for at least 6,000 years. Some estimates say it's been covered in ice for over 30 million years. So if the map is accurate, it either came from a time before the ice, which would mean an advanced human civilization existed tens of thousands of years ago, or the map makers had technology to see beneath it. So, who were these ancient map makers? Some theorists believe the map is evidence of a lost global seafaring civilization, possibly the one Plato hinted at with Atlantis, a culture wiped out by cataclysm, remembered only in fragments and myth, a civilization capable of mapping the world with a precision we didn't regain until the invention of satellites. Others believe it's proof that our ancestors were far more advanced than we've been led to believe, not in terms of smartphones and skyscrapers, but in navigation, astronomy, and mathematics. Tools passed down, misinterpreted, and eventually lost. Of course, skeptics aren't convinced. They argue that the resemblance to Antarctica is purely coincidental, and that we're projecting modern knowledge onto an old map filled with errors. After all, parts of the Piri Reis map are clearly inaccurate, strange creatures in the oceans, odd proportions. But the question remains, how did it capture that one region so precisely and so impossibly? Could it be that we've been living in a historical amnesia, where ancient achievements are buried deeper than Antarctic ice? The truth is, we may never know. The original source maps that Piri Reis used, gone. The full map he created, only 1/3 has survived. What secrets were in the missing parts? What other forgotten truths are still hidden in libraries, ruins, or places we've yet to uncover? What we do know is this: An old, worn piece of gazelle skin, forgotten in a palace drawer for centuries, managed to rattle the foundations of history. And even now it dares us to ask, what else have we lost? And more importantly, who came before us? Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.